Yeah, now, so I come here to the bathroom on 14th Street and do all kinds of stuff to lock me in the bathroom. They were started vandalizing the bathroom, stucking it up. So instead of having 3 toilets, it's now reduced to 2. And now they put a sign here, graffiti, like mines, like they play mind games with me. Their police is, they have a police precinct here. As they were doing this to me last year, sometimes they'll bring a metal pipe into the bathroom and say, get out of here, the workers, MTA workers. Eric Adams was still mayor, and I used to criticize him that Trump illegally asked for his case, his criminal Turkish bribery case to be dismissed. I said there's a quid pro quo going on. I wrote a letter, an email to the judge, Del Ho, federal judge, that they shouldn't dismiss the case, that Turkish bribery case, I'm one of the victims. Some Turkish people were attacking me in Brooklyn. As I was seeking justice, my friend Ricardo was killed by the police, and this Ricardo was entering my justice. So they were trying to arrest me in the bathroom. I'm a Nigerian. I was born a boy. I'm not a girl. And they always attacked me in the bathroom. So I started coming to the bathroom. I went to Chambers Street bathroom. And on that day, I was reading the newspaper, and I found in the newspaper that Eric Adams' friend, former Mayor Eric Adams' friend, last year, they just arrested him for raping a woman anally in the police plaza. So I posted that video online, and I went to use the bathroom. As soon as I went to the bathroom, 7 police officers came. And they arrested him. They said somebody said I stole something, and I said, it's a setup. Because this Eric Adams' friend was arrested for raping a woman anally in a police plaza. Claimed it was set up. It was a frame up. It was saying he didn't do that. So they came and decided he's going to fight. He was going to fight the system. And then when I went to the bathroom, they came and framed me up also. Like some black American gang told me, hey, whatever bad happens to any black American, they're going to me as an African, they're going to deny African justice. So I believe this Eric Adams is part of that black American gang. They've been harassing me, setting me up to be arrested. And they arrested me in November 2025, said I stole his cell phone. I was in the store, and they dragged me out of the store. And that's against the law because there's privacy rights in the store. There's privacy rights in the store, and unless there's an imminent threat to life, you don't just go into the store to drag somebody out. There's privacy laws, and also there's 2 stores, and the police officer just came to drag me out. They didn't try to confirm if there's another person within the store. I'm like, are you so sure I'm the one you're looking for? Somebody called 911. Said, they didn't bring the person. I can go bring the person. I should have already been handcuffed. I said, it's a public bathroom. Come in and go. I think I was when I stole the cell phone. After I stole a cell phone, I'm like, why would somebody steal a cell phone? I go and wait in the bathroom. It was a grown black American male they brought. And they didn't find no cell phone on me. I said, Lord, people made false accusation against me. As I was talking, they were choking. I said, don't talk, we don't want to hear it. I said, you're a police officer. So what if a crazy person calls you, said I stole $3 trillion from their country, and I'm hiding in the bathroom, you come and arrest me? I said, can you verify this person's sanity? They said, no, we don't need to hear nothing. He said, and they didn't find no cell phone. So I was like, can you let me go now and apologize because you didn't find any stolen cell phone on me? They were like, no, when we told you to stop talking, you were crying. I said, yeah, because you were choking me and I was crying because I was in pain. So now we're going to charge you with obstruction of justice. So I was like, you just came here to destroy my immigration status. And they dragged me, and they weren't supposed to put me take me to prison. I had my ID on me, and there's a no bail law that says, they can't put you, arrest you if your crime is less than violence. So they lied. Said I beat them up. I'm like, you have camera on you. How do I beat you up when you're 7 police officers and pull me out of the bathroom? And the Supreme Court says you have the right to resist, an unlawful arrest as long as, and they were wearing gloves. I'm like, how do I beat you up? I said, I want a forensic analysis because they were grabbing my genitalia and stuff, And even the Supreme Court said you can resist an unlawful arrest. I stiffened my body because I was trying to carry my bag out of the bathroom. Because the last time they arrested me like that, they stole my green card, they stole thousands of dollars. Anytime I have money, they will arrest me and steal all the money. Even my friend in Ghana that was helping me, as the police took my home stand, they arrested him and his claim was resisted. And they said they killed him and stole his money. His family alleged that he used to have a lot of money in his pocket when they arrested him. They left the money and disappeared. It was also they arrested me on the anniversary of his death, around his anniversary of his death, on July 23rd, 2019. As the Trump administration declined to prosecute the Oregon's case. They said the lawyer that was supposed to prosecute it for the Trump administration forgot. And people were protesting, and the police came and choked me in Brooklyn, July 23rd, 2019. Came and choked. They said they choked another Oregon swear. And they said that 23rd is connotated to my mother's son's birthday. My mother's daughter's son's birthday, Flora. She was part of the people that killed my mother. My mother said that Flora is part of a narcotic gang with her sister, Baller, that kill people for money and inheritance. Me and my mother were trying to sue the INS for arresting me wrongfully, and Oregon was going to help us. They killed Oregon. Then my mother was killed, and my mother said I should watch out. I may be killed next. Even before she died, she said her daughters are part of a narcotic gang. And the police tried to kill me on July 23rd, 2019. 23 is the birthday of Flora's son, Ayinde Chinichino. And also they give the Oregon family 5.9 million. I'm like, why settle the case for 5.9 million? Why not settle for a old number? Why not 3.9 million? That this Flora used to tell me she's 5'9", she's 5 feet 9 inches tall, but she always lies to people and tell them she's 5'10" or 5'11". So as soon as I was released from immigration prison, I believe I was under immigration surveillance, because once the immigration arrests you, they send your picture and your fingerprint to FBI, and FBI monitors you forever and ever. Immigration status is a forever thing in America. They'll monitor you forever. And they give the Oregon family 5.9 million. A settlement. I'm like, how did they get arrived at that amount? So and before they killed Oregon, my mother was telling me I should watch her daughters are trying to lock me up in a mental ward and go get guardianship and take over any lawsuit. Me and my mother was planning against immigration, and immediately. So I believe people in Nigeria must have been snitching. There are some Nigerians here in America. They're trying to lock up their brother. I was a boy, I'm not a girl. They're trying to lock up their brother in the psych ward, wrongfully, and take over the person's finances. Because my mother's daughters don't like me. One that Flora used to call me gay. She's my sister, and that Bolani, our other sister, used to say that even our own dog is gay. Like, what is going on with all these guys being gay in America? I was a boy then, and I'm gay. She was like, our own dog Billy likes to sleep with other people's anuses. Anytime she sees a gay person, she makes fun of them. She was driving in a car, we saw this gay transsexual guy. So I was looking at it. We had very long hair. It was a white guy there. I've never seen a white guy. I've never seen a guy with a long hair. Almost touching the floor. And with wore braids, I was looking at him like, and she was like, why are you looking at that gay guy? Why are you doing that gay? That's my I was like, nothing. I've never seen somebody with such a long hair. It was a white guy, had cornrows. And his hair was very long. He had braids. And his braids, like while he was walking, his braids was almost touching the floor. So I was looking at it while she was driving, and she started saying, even our dog is gay also. Our male dog Billy always sniffs other people's innocence, and she gave the dog away. And that dog is the most lovable thing. I think it looks like it was very hairy, very big. That dog is the loveliest thing. She gave him away. Mother, so this is sick. And anytime I come here, they try to arrest me in the bathroom, and they have this 14th Street Square, and they put it in their minds. So I'm in danger. So they've already put a mental illness misdiagnosis on me. So I can be taken hostage anywhere, taken to any country on hostage, and people can just claim, well, this person was crazy. They don't let me use the bathroom. We saw them dirty, and we had to remove them from America to Africa. So so there's all kinds of weird people. That want to befriend me in person. I'm like, no. If you have anything to say to me, say to me online. I don't want to have any secret friendship with anybody. Because sometimes when I post messages online that I'm a Nigerian, I'm about to be taken hostage and trafficked to some other country, kidnapped, and the people will claim, no, I was diagnosed as crazy, and I was really suffering. I'm wearing dirty clothes. They don't let me wash my clothes. They tell even laundromats I go to chase me away. They say, no. We're afraid you blacks always rob people. Laundromats will tell me that. Won't let me use the laundromat. So the police find out what laundromats I use, and they stole my green card. So I used to go to a hotel and wash my clothes in the hotel. bought a bucket. When the laundromat wouldn't let me wash my clothes anymore, so I used to go rent a hotel with my green card in New Jersey, Atlantic City, the actual hotel room, $20 a week. And I'll buy a bucket and I'll soak my clothes in the bucket. That's how we wash clothes in Nigeria. And I'll just dry it in the shower. So there's a Nigerian musician that recorded a song before the gun was killed. He said somebody wants to take somebody for ransom, ring the alarm. He used a Nintendo, and it was that's like Michael Jackson. I used to tell people, people tell me I look at Michael Jackson as a kid. So here's the song. They want to take somebody for ransom, ring the alarm. Let me play that song first. I don't know why the audio is up. The ad is not playing. So I believe this musician has the evidence my mother had, because my mother was telling me to be careful. Her daughter in Nigeria the 1 year, they're trying to take me for ransom, declare me crazy, and kill me. And since then, my mother was telling me they released the song around the time Rihanna was killed, the video, but he has recorded the song before the video. So I believe somebody must have called America and be like, there's some Nigerians trying to kidnap their fellow Nigerian and declare them crazy and put them in the psych ward and kill them eventually and take over their estate. So the police instead of helping me, they went and grabbed a Rihanna that promised he was going to be helping me sue the immigration and stuff. They went and declared him crazy and choked him on the sidewalk. And they gave his family $5.9 million. My sister Flora, she's 5.9 inches tall, 5 feet 9 inches tall, but she used to tell me she always lies to people that she's 5'10". I was like, why would they give that Rihanna family $5.9 million settlement in the city of New York? And so that the family has kept quiet. The chef told me helping to his friends, and Eric Adam, his friend with the Eric Adam family, he became mayor. They said Bloomberg would have killed Eric Garner under his mayorship, sponsored Eric Adam to become mayor. And so since he became mayor, he sent the police to be arrested homeless like me, locked him in the psych ward. And last year they came and arrested him in the bathroom. So that as I posted a video on YouTube, November 14, 2025, saying this Eric Adam, his friend, has just been arrested for raping a woman in the anus. And I said his friend is denying it, that it's a frame up, he didn't do it, they're just framing him up. And as soon as I went to the bathroom that day, I just posted the video within 5 minutes. I went to the bathroom, the police surrounded me. Somebody said I stole a cell phone. I'm like, how do you know it's me? There's multiple people that come into the bathroom. So the person described you. I'm like, okay, there could be many people with my features. Many people come into the bathroom and I'm wearing a mask and they drag me out of the bathroom. I said, this is a false arrest. Let me explain. So we don't want to hear nothing. Just keep quiet. And they searched me forcefully. Didn't find no cell phone. I said, can you let me go now? And I told you it's a false arrest. I said, can you arrest the person that lied to you, that called 911? They said, no, because you were going to arrest. I said, for what? They said, because you were crying and screaming as we were arrested. I said, yeah, because you were putting me in handcuffs, you were choking me. I said, so you started a false arrest on shaky probable cause? I said, I was trying to explain to you that even this Eric Adam, I believe, is part of the black Americans that have been attacking me because I criticize him a lot. And I was talking, you slam me on the floor, so you don't want to hear nothing. You don't want to investigate, you just came here to arrest me on a shaky probable cause. I said, that's a kidnap. So this is what is going on. So they arrested me like crazy. They say if you don't have money in America, you're nothing. Money towards pushing. He said money towards pushing works. I've been talking about this with my mother before she was killed and kidnapped by her brothers. They frame her up as crazy, also locked her up in the mental ward. She was trying to reach out to prosecute somebody weapon. So here's the song that around the time my mother was telling me that I should be careful. Some people are trying to hold me for ransom, my daughters, and lock me in the mental ward and take over my lawsuit money. This guy released a song around that time, 2014, and the police went and did it to Eric Garner. I believe people may have been calling the police, letting them know there's a Nigerian family trying to, kill them, the mother and the son. I was a boy, then now a girl. That way, arrest them, put them in the psych ward, and get them killed. And the police went and killed Eric Garner, said he was crazy. Eric Garner wasn't crazy. His family said he never had any mental illness. He used to sell cigarettes. And Eric Garner was trying to explain to them he's not crazy. And they were choking him. They put him on the 730 lock. I said the police was laughing when they killed him. So here's the song. Let me loud, So, so they said a psychiatric, and since that the police arrested me again in 2019 and misdiagnosed me as crazy, they had a guy slap me. And, I told him, why did he do that? And the police came out and jumped on July 20, 2019 at Baby Jam and 4th Avenue. Before that, the police used to warn me that they're going to arrest me still, my body. And so I saved like a lot of money, thousands of dollars I was going to use to buy a house. Because I always spent for money on the streets, I was spending $100, $50. So I saved thousands of dollars, I was ready to buy a house, and they put me in handcuffs, choked me, stole the money, stole my green card, and went and locked me on the sidewalk. I had the New York University Psychiatric Hospital, also joined the line. I used to go to the hospital all the time for almost 25 years. And I told her, I've been coming to your hospital to, I've never seen as crazy. I said, it's a stink up. They were trying to steal my money, put me in that cup, took all my luggage from me. And the hospital wouldn't help me. The hospital is friends with the NYPD. The NYPD is like downstairs from the hospital, on very regional. So here's the song where my mother was telling me. I believe the singer also had the same information my mother had. I should be careful. They're trying to lock me up in the mental hospital. In Nigeria. And so the guy did a remix to a Nigerian song I like. There's another Nigerian song I like. That one was released in 1999. It's called Shake Body by the Tribesmen. So he did a remix to that song. I was saying Ring the Alarm. So there's another song in 1999. It's called Shake Body by the Tribesmen. I always watch it on my YouTube. So since I've been under immigration surveillance, the immigration watches anything I watch through the surveillance. And I believe the rogue among the immigration and FBI tells everybody that there's a Nigerian we're watching. That person likes this Nigerian song called Tribesmen, Shake Body. That song was released in 1999. So this guy did a remix to that song. So it's the remix. Right before the kid Recorder, around the time my mother was telling me 2014 that I should watch out. Daughters are trying to freak mental illness on me, and my mother and I was locked up and killed in the mental ward and took over our money. So here's the song. Yeah. Let me just try to increase the volume. Why is it not singing? The volume is low. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, the media is okay. I don't know why the volume is low. Let me try another ad. Oh, I have the earphone on. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not crazy. I was like, I have the earphone. Because I always listen with the earphone. I don't disturb the peace. So it's a good thing I was caught with the earphone. I always listen with the earphones. I don't disturb people. Because they try to lock me up, make it look I disturb people with my loud voice. So that's it. They want to hold him for ransom because he's young, rich, and handsome. I was saying, and that song, Shake Body, Shake Body. My mother said I daughter Funke in Nigeria. When I was a baby, she shook me and tried to throw me out of the house, out of the window, because she was mad that her father was different from my father. My mother had her arrested, and they put her in a jail. But her father's family is more powerful in Nigeria, so they got her released. So when my mother came back to America, she didn't file for a green card ever for that Funke. And Africa wanted to come to America, so I guess she was jealous. So my mother said that Funke was talking to our daughters yet. My mother's daughters in America, but only Florida, they were born in New York. I said they were all concocted to kill me and my mother and take over the estate. So this is what is going on. So that Funke's father graduated from London. Our father is very rich. He's a prominent Nigerian. He went to Oxford University. His name is Thomas. He's now dead. So he mentioned the word London. Yeah, our father. He graduated from Oxford University. He's a very rich Nigerian. So my mother said that Funke, she shook me as a baby. And tried to throw me out of the window. She shook me as a baby. I tried to throw me out of the window, and my mother called the police to arrest her. But her father's family, they're very super rich. They live in London and in Nigeria. They go to Oxford University. Our father, that Funke's father. So I get harassed and stuff. Sometimes people with British accent will try to jump me here in New York. Menace me. So I'm at risk of being taken hostage because once you put a mental health diagnosis on somebody, they said you can easily get a court order, fly to some court anywhere in the world, and take them somewhere else and say that, they say their body's dirty and stuff. And I think they also want to make me look like I have like I'm retarded. Some have been hiring kids to call me retard, and hit me. So I'm far from anything. I'm far from anything like retarded. I'm very high achieving. Every country I've been to, people always tell my mother, this kid is so smart. I finished high school at 15 in Nigeria, but I came here, and for 25 years I've been trying to finish college, but due to my immigration problem, it's been very hard for me to finish college because I will drop out, and I started having homeless crisis after my mother died, So that's why I've been unable to finish college. So I believe that they want to frame me up as mentally retarded and take me abroad somewhere and lock me up and get a court order to come here to the United States. Say, I'm mentally retarded, and they want to file a lawsuit on my behalf. And the courts here wouldn't have jurisdiction over me because in Trump's case, once he deports people to El Salvador, the judges said they can't really bring people from El Salvador. So, they put a mental health diagnosis on me, and anybody can just kidnap me, take me away from America. So I'm already being held hostage by that diagnosis. I can't buy a gun. So I've already framed up as crazy 2019. So please, courts, you have to file I'm trying to file an abuse corpus petition to bar, and to stop and desist, and invite the New York University Psychiatric Hospital to the courthouse to interview the doctors there. Why did they put a mental health diagnosis on me? In 2019, when the police said I was fighting with somebody, I wasn't fighting with somebody, and they refused to investigate the statement, and they just started misdiagnosing me with every mental illness in the world. To make it easy for anybody to transport me out of America, get guardianship over me. So by that mental health misdiagnosis, I can be kidnapped, and taken away, and with that medical statement from an American hospital, courts anywhere in the world will believe that I'm truly mentally ill and grant anybody guardianship over me. So I've been noticing some suspicious people follow me around, Sometimes they act like they want to be my friend. After I post messages to them on Instagram, I'm always posting messages on Instagram to people, and I always issue a disclaimer. I'm not looking for friendship with anyone. I'm just looking for a loan, and I want everything to be documented, So that's why I always tell people, donate money to me online, to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. I'm not looking for... Even this Nigerian nurse, she always talks about me and stuff. I post messages to her that I think you're talking about me. Can you please, confirm you're talking about... And she's silent. And then she'll post a message that she doesn't read all her inbox messages. That she gets a lot of inbox she doesn't read. So I'm like, so why is she posting a message after I contacted her online, saying, please, if your post is about me, please acknowledge it, because I'm trying to go to court and I need witnesses, because she's from Nigeria. Also, I believe a lot of Nigerians are aware that my mother's daughters are planning to kill me, and some of them have told the police. I said the police to help me. My mother, they went and killed a gunner that was helping me and my mother with our court, with our court people. So her name is Zini. That's her online name. So she posts up like from auntie lawyer to auntie nurse. So my mother's daughter, that funky, we always call elder sisters auntie in Nigeria. So she make a reference to my mother's daughters. So my mother's daughter, she's a speech pathologist, and she was born in New York. She studied linguistics, and she always posts about me and my family. Yes, she's saying an accent is not a speech disorder. And she's wearing orange. You know, they have an arrest warrant out for me.
When you try to change your accent, what is it with immigrants and their accent? Can I be
You know, some people always accuse me of having a fake accent, American accent. And she always talks about things about me. You know, I'm like, how is it possible? You know, you don't know nothing about me, and all your posts always relate to something about me. I've posted in the past that, you know, in the bathroom on 14th Street on the A line and C line, they said "Die soon" poster. They put a graffiti there. Soon the police came and arrested me in 2019 and locked me up in the mental ward. I'm choking. You know. And she was telling people, as an immigrant, you can be a speech linguistic, you know, even with an accent. Say even if you don't know American accent, you can help people with stroke. Teach them how to swallow again, and you can defer the American English part to Americans. Say as a speech linguist, you don't need to know American English. You can just stop worrying about your accent. You know, she's wearing an orange uniform. Nurses don't wear orange uniform like this, but she just wear orange uniform. So they have an arrest warrant out for me. When the police arrested me, you know, in 2025. Said I stole a phone and they didn't find no phone, but they said, you know, I was screaming and crying as they were arresting me. So now they charged me with obstruction of justice. You know, so I was going to go to court, but the police slammed all my cards all over the staircase as they were arresting me. I had another cart then, and they were carrying it up and down the staircase. I broke all the tires. So I was managing that cart like that. You know, I was managing it like that. But on the day of the court, the whole cart disintegrated. So I got stuck in the subway. People helped me pick up the part. So I couldn't get to court early. So now they have an arrest warrant on me. You know, I think that's what she's telling me. You know, and I heard, you know, when they arrest you as a homeless, the court, they have a community court that require them, so they should be sentencing people to mental homes. You know, they dismiss the case and just sentence you to mental home. You know, so they want to appear dirty in court. You know, and from there, anybody, they say they can just kill you in the mental home. You know, and go and dump your body and say nobody came to get you for your corpse, and go and bury you at the what's it called? At the burial ground for homeless, unclaimed bodies. I think it's called Woodland Cemetery. They have a mass graveyard for homeless people if nobody claims your body within 6 months. And when the police arrested me, they mismatched my name. They made my first name my last name, my last name my first name. So that the hospital, the mental home, after they killed me, they were planning to lock me in the mental home. I told them, no, you can't lock me from the mental home because you claim I tried to steal his cell phone. You know, I said I was screaming and she was trying to arrest me. You know, so I have the video of the encounter with the police. I have to tell them, don't go lock up somebody in psychiatric ward. It's okay, now we're going to prison. I said, I have an ID. They said, there's a no bail law that says, you know, unless somebody uses a weapon to attack somebody, you know, you can just, you know, give them a desk appearance ticket, you know. And they were just, you know, hell-bent on killing me, you know, and they wanted to hold on to me as possible. Because I was a black American that the police drove him away in a car. I think his name is Frederick or something. You know, around the time my grandma was killed, they put him in the backseat of the car and were driving rough and his whole body disintegrated. You know, there's many black Americans that after the police arrest them, they won't come out of prison alive. You know. So a lot of Nigerians are aware that because I'm worth a lot of money potentially, I'm trying to sue US immigration for arresting monthly. Some of my family members and gangs all over the world want to kidnap me, kill me, steal my sperm, and produce baby and inherit my estate. You know. You know. So she posts a lot of things. You know, I can't really, since this is just impromptu. You know, in the past she was posting regularly things that concerns me. You know. And she says mental health, nursing, England edition. She may be referencing my mother's daughter, whose father went to Oxford University, and you know. So my mother was telling me that daughter Funke and her daughter's my mother's daughter's here in America. We're trying to lock my mother up in the mental ward and take over our money. You know. You know, so she always You know, she said, do you want to be 48? I still live with your friend. I'm 45 now. So you can be living in your mother's basement. So my mother's daughter, that Bolani, had a basement, and she told me, I'm more than welcome to be. As a matter of fact, I could come sleep in the storage space outside the house. So she has a storage. She has a storage box. I think this message is about me. Say you want to be 48 and still be living with your parents, so you better go find some job to do now. Go get a degree. So I will advise him. And when I contact her, no GPA is almost irrelevant to the big city. I used to get 4.0 GPA in college, and say, go find a smaller city to move to. The big city are too competitive. I'm in a big city and I used to get 4.0. All our messages used to, a lot of them seems to, and like, how is she so, how is she so, she said she used to live in New York also, but she moved to California as a nurse then. And all our stories always, always relevant. All our stories always referencing things about me. I used to get 4.0 GPA as a full-time college student here in New York City. I finished high school at 15 in Nigeria, and I still haven't graduated from college because, and I have problem paying money due to my immigration status and stuff. So when my mother died, they didn't do CPR on her. And she talks about CPR also on a fragile old man. They said, they decided not to do. The hospital said they didn't do CPR. And she's also Nigerian American versus Nigerian immigrants. So not saying one got privilege, the other is fighting village people. So my mother's daughters are born in America, Bologna and Florida, so they have American passport. I'm a Nigerian. So she always references things about me and my mother's daughter. So I'm dealing with my sister that Nigerian American, I'm a Nigerian, and she's saying, that there's also a war going on between Nigerian American and Nigerian. And she said this is her calling. My mother used to tell me that when she was in Nigeria, she used to dream seeing herself wearing white uniform in America. And when she came to America, she couldn't find no job and became a home aide, nursing assistant. So it's always referencing things. I was under immigration surveillance, so I guess anything my mother tells me, the FBI was listening. They're not the rogue FBI. They said, even this Trump said it, that the FBI agents, some of them leak information about surveillance they get on other people. This is what's going on. So I solemnly swear that United States Treasury laws and other relevant laws and U.S. Constitution that I'm solely seeking non-conditional charitable financial donation to my cash app and homeless and to me in person. I'm not looking for marriage and also I'm looking for a loan. I would like to go back to school, so please, if you're going to give me a loan, please make sure the interest rate is the regular interest rate the U.S. government charges people for student loan, or the interest rate commercial banks would charge for student loan. So I know some people are not charitable. So if you're, I'm trying to go back to school. I finished high school in Nigeria at 15, but I had to come here and do GED and go to college here, and stuff, because they don't really understand the Nigeria credential system in America. You have to, find a way to interpret it, hire international consultant. So I just went and did GED and I passed right away to start college in America, And for 25 years, I'm trying to finish college. I've been getting 4.0 GPA, full-time college student in America. I still can't finish because I've been dealing with an immigration case. And when I finally got my green card to my mother, the police came and threw me out. So in between homelessness and the immigration case, 25 years, I can't finish college. So please, if you're going to give me a student loan, please donate it to my cash app, NYC Homeless. That's my cash app. And please just charge me the rates the U.S. government charges for student loan, or the rate the commercial bank charge for student loan. I don't want any crazy interest rate, you know. And also so I solemnly swear that United States perjury laws and U.S. Constitution and other relevant laws that I'm solely seeking non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App and to me in person. And for those that want to give me student loan, I just want you to chime in interest rate that the U.S. government charges, around the interest rate that the U.S. government charges students, or the rate commercial bank charges students. So I don't want any crazy, rates, And I'm not seeking surrogacy with anyone. I'm not seeking secret friendship with anyone. There are people that follow me around they're trying to kidnap me, and make it look like I told them I want to be trafficked out of America. No, I don't want to be trafficked out of America. I want to get justice here. America is the crime scene. When my mother is killed, a black American American is killed. So why would I want to leave? They say you always have to you always have to maintain the crime scene, because any form of displacement could lead to loss of evidence, So I'm doing an important job here, trying to get justice for me and my mother, and also, nowhere else to say for me really, because I was born a boy, I'm now a girl, and there's discrimination against gays in Nigeria. They've stoned gays to death. A lot of African countries don't welcome gays. Even in South Africa, they say they don't like Nigerians there, So I'm not saving any African country. I'm not saving in Europe. There's some British people that come here. I don't know who hired them. They bother me, try to start a fight with me with a British accent and stuff. So some Europeans that bother me also. So, I'm just better off remaining in America. I have a green card, even though it has been stolen. But I have my history here. So in case somebody harms me, it should be easy to prove it instead of switching me all around the world. So I think some people are just trying to kidnap me because of my mental health misdiagnosis. And they can just kill me, steal my sperm, and create a baby and inherit my estate. So and she said she may never go back home. And at the time, the police tried to kill me here. She posted a message. Sometimes they threaten me with deportation, and all of a sudden she posted this message that she may never go back home. As the police were trying to kill me in the bathroom, when I was mayor, if I use the bathroom upstairs on 14th Street here, the police will come, bam, bam, bam. Some black Americans will come with a metal pipe, so they want to repair the bathroom, and they're trying to fight me with empty workers. And right people try to go to come with a knife. There's a Spanish restaurant I go to, and one of the workers, told me she's going to come with a knife if I ever try to use the bathroom for customers. I bought food for like $5, and nobody helps me. She's a lawyer in Nigeria. And she's always using innuendos, look like she always makes it look like she's talking about things in general, but she always uses examples that relate to me. So I'm like, how are you able to channel me? I want people where we're trying to lure me into fake marriage, and she said she's ready to get married. A guy took me home, raped me, said he wants to get married right away. I said, no, I'm worth a lot of money potential. I'm not just going to marry anybody. And the guy beat me up. I called the police. They didn't arrest him.
So let's get to the beginning of the story.
So she's always talking like she's talking in general, but a lot of the examples she used seems to reference my personal life. So please, this is very important, and I need lawyers that can go to court, get an abuse corpses, misdiagnosing someone with a mental health, with a mental health condition makes it easy for the person to take it hostage. I believe New York has a law that any police officer or members of the public can kidnap a person that's mentally ill for the safety of the community. Because New York has a self-defense law like that. And generally people, and also it's another law that deems mental ill people a threat, and the diagnosis with the worst mental health condition. I don't even want to repeat it. So there's a need to investigate the New York psychiatric hospital, the worst mental health condition you can think of. Or it is from schizophrenia to bipolar. I'm like, this diagnosis is even scary to me, and to call me that when, but it says since the days of slavery, they used to portray blacks as mentally ill, as crazy. Even the Hollywood would only star blacks in roles that makes them look blacks look goofy, makes black looks like mental retard, like the Aunt Gemina syrup. They said the reason why our face was like that is that when sticks. In England, they used to beat kids with sticks. Even at the park called Watchley Market Park, the park workers would come with a stick to get her. And I heard they did. In another park here in New York City, Brooklyn, one of the park worker black Americans shoot a Venezuelan immigrant to death. So the person is always in the park a lot. As soon as this algorithm said foreigners come to invade New York and destroy the economy. So I've been expressing a lot of hate. So I'm also gay. People come around me with sticks. I'm not saying that guy's part of the people, but I've been noticing people trying to attack me and holding a weapon. So they're always holding sticks around me. So I don't know what to be afraid of. And they put a graffiti here. Mine. So that's with blue. There's a police station upstairs. So I don't know who sent all these people. So I always hide here to charge to go online. It's so cold today. That's why I'm hiding here today. So I'm walking to my application. So I hide there because a little more so that except for the next 1 week it's gonna be so cold. Even me, my daddy said homeless people need to find one place to go. So I don't want them to arrest me and claim I'm freezing. They don't want me to die in the cold. Even there's this radio station, Breakfast Club. There's a black American. It's worth like $100 million. I always contact him for help. He said he likes gays. His name is Charlemagne. And he was saying, in his last statement today on his radio show, in his goodbye message, it was issued in Anando, saying, some of you are about to get into something, it's inevitable, you're going to get into something. So he's always issuing threat to me. And there's a lot of people that tell me I got to marry them, otherwise it's not going to be safe for me, the police will kill me. So this is an attempted rape. This Charlemagne was arrested for raping a minor child, in South Carolina or North Carolina, and he came to New York. He's now working after his prison sentence. So he's always saying stuff like, nobody will believe the truth if you can make a good lie. He's always saying Wednesday's hump day. I was born on Wednesday, July 8, 1981. So every Wednesday, people approach me trying to touch my breast. It's not really my breast instead. I put a lot of phones in my pocket, in my breast pocket. I have like 50 phones. I've been recording abuses against me by the police, by people for 15 years, and there's some people that want to arrest me, kill me, and get into my phones and claim ownership of my phones. So if any documentary is made about the way I've been savagely abused, my friend are gonna kill, they will get copyright credits and money. So this is why a lot of black Americans stalk me and make it look like I'm stealing phones. I have like 50 phones on my body. I've been homeless for 15 years and I record everything. Sometimes my phone get water damage, I go buy a new one. I always buy $20 phones, $30 phones. All my phones I buy from Target. So as soon as I buy it, I log in online site to Google, my Google account. So there's no way I'm stealing $20 right? All my phones nobody has used it before. All my from the first user. So how am I stealing brand new phones from people on the street and logging on online before them? So this is what this is why the police came to arrest me in the bathroom. Somebody said I stole their phone. I have like 50 phones on me. In my breast pocket and in my side pocket, I have like 4 phones I carry all the time. And they're all blue phones, TCL. These are like $20 phones, $30 phones. But they all get water damage, all get screen damage. Because some of my phones, I've had them for almost 15 years. I've been homeless for 15 years, And the police stole a lot from me. I used to have more phones than you, but the police stole a lot of them. So, there's no probable cause. Just, they say any bad thing that happens to a black American, they say they're going to repeat on me. So since a white Spanish female was beating up a black American in Manhattan some few years ago, she thought a black American boy stole her phone, and then she had left the phone in a Uber, and she was in the lobby in the hotel, and she couldn't find her phone, and she saw a black boy standing next to her. She started beating up the boy. She said, "Where's her phone? Where's her phone?" And then the Uber driver drove back to the hotel and gave her the phone that she left in the Uber. Then she ran away to California, and the police had to come bring her from California here. So that story was all over the news a few years ago. So some black Americans have told me any bad thing that happens to a black American, they're going to repeat it on me. George Floyd was killed while shopping. Anytime I go to shop, they always accuse me of stealing grocery and stuff. I have a food stamp. So all this stuff I buy is with my food stamp card, you know. So they're just trying to say they want to kill me to get civil rights for Black Americans. So I'm being held hostage, and some of the Black American prosecutors are in cahoots. This lady, she's the Attorney General, Letitia James, around 2014, before they killed Eric Garner. I called her office because it was all over the news. She was the public advocate, Letitia James of New York City, and I heard she was helping Black Americans that had problems with their landlord. If their landlord evicted them wrongfully, she would help them sue as the public advocate. And the court warned her, you can't be suing private landlords as a public advocate of New York City. There's a conflict of interest. You're supposed to protect everybody, but you can only sue government agents like police, and when they do something wrong. So my case met the criteria of what the court told her to support it. So I called her around 2014. I said, look, the police evicted my mother wrongfully from a basement apartment without a court order, and she asked me to come to her office immediately. I told her my name, but when I got to her office the same day, she sent her secretary to tell me no, she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So apparently she found out I'm a Nigerian, and she didn't want to help me. So I later met Eric Garner that year or thereabout. I knew she was going to help, and the police want to kill Eric Garner. So Letitia James has the blood of Eric Garner in his hand. She wouldn't help me because I'm a Nigerian, even though the case meets the criteria of what the court ordered her to do. So she's obstructing justice and possibly got Eric Garner killed. So she doesn't help me, and she and another Black American have been brought. And some Black Americans have been telling me they want foreigners, Black Africans like me to be killed, so Black Americans can get more civil rights. So I'm being held hostage by the Black American community. There's a sect among them, and with a mental health diagnosis, I don't stand a chance. Even Michael Jackson's father said it. He said the people that don't have rights in America are crazy people and Black people. He said when they were calling Michael Jackson Wacko Jacko, he knew one day they're going to kill him and get away with it. In 2009, after Michael Jackson died, his father came on the radio by phone to WBLS 107.5 on Sunday morning around 9 a.m. And I was in shock that Michael Jackson's father would say the same thing my mother would say. Because I was under immigration surveillance. The FBI was monitoring and saying some FBI agents always leak information to members of the public. Even this Trump said the FBI leaks information about him to people. You see how, my mother was saying that also, that once they call you crazy and you're Black in America, say you're dead meat. And around 2009, when Michael Jackson died, Michael Jackson's father came on the radio and said when they were calling his son Wacko Jacko, he said, you know, one day they're going to kill him. And so when he got the phone call, his son was sleeping, and his son woke up and injected himself with propofol. So it's like, why would they let him have access to such a strong medication? He said his son doesn't have medical license. Says he believes somebody set him up with that doctor, and it was like once that doctor arrested, and that doctor was finally arrested, but they gave him like a few years in prison, So I'm a Nigerian. If misdiagnosed as crazy, and some Black Americans are trying to kill me, so I don't stand a chance. So please, the court, I'm begging for a habeas corpus petition to ask anybody to stop and desist from calling me crazy, have the crazy diagnosis overturned, and tell the city of New York to give me housing, because there's a court order that if they remove you from a basement apartment, they have to put you in housing. They have a duty of care. I'm under an emergency vacate order since 2010, and they're supposed to tell the landlord to repair my house and put me back in. They said the house violated the building code. So I've been almost on the street for 15 years. So they have a duty of care. The Brooklyn Supreme Court has ruled that the city of New York has in a settlement agreement with the city of New York. Anytime they vacate you, the city of New York bears the responsibility to put you in appropriate housing, pay for your hotel room. So please, this is why I need an habeas corpus petition that leaving me on the street with a crazy diagnosis, it's a death sentence, because there's a court that's rules in New York that for self-defense of the community, that people, if they reasonably believe that somebody is a threat to the society, they can hold the person hostage, choke you down, and even this guy, what's his name? Daniel Penny invoked that rule. He said he saw a homeless person acting crazy, Jordan Neely, and choked him dead. And Jordan Neely was just talking that he's hungry and stuff, So anybody can kill me now and get away with it, because I've been misdiagnosed as crazy. And if you just claim, there's a rule in New York that says, when somebody's a danger to the community, and diagnose me as schizophrenic, bipolar, manic depressive, anybody that knows about my misdiagnosis and wants to be insidious can kill me. So I have a life bomb on me. I don't want to invoke terrorism laws in America. I'm so sorry, but but there's freedom of speech. I don't have a live bomb, and please don't report me. What I mean is a mental health misdiagnosis in New York State that has a law that says you can put somebody and hold somebody hostage, use extreme force to disable the threat. So a mental health misdiagnosis is like a live wire. I don't have a live wire, but misdiagnosis, they killed my mother that way, locked her up in a mental ward, daughter's framed mental illness owner, and my mother was misdiagnosed as crazy in the past, I don't want to get into that, because when I first came into America, let me get into it, when I first came to America, my mother was kind of difficult, because I didn't have immigration papers, I was released on bail, so my mother and my daughters used to call the police officer to lock me up in the mental ward. I lied that I'm a teenager, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to go to school. But the only reason why I wasn't going to work or school was I didn't have any money. So my mother would call the police to take me to St. Vincent Hospital in Staten Island near our house. And when we get there, I was spent with a psychiatrist who was an Indian or Sri Lankan woman. I said the reason why I don't work or go to school is because I don't have immigration papers, and my mother was working as a home method, earning $6 an hour. She can't afford to pay for my school. I said she's always called the police to throw me to the mental ward so that she doesn't have to pay for my housing and feeding anymore. So the doctor told her, the next time you lie to the police that your child is crazy, even though your child is not crazy, the reason why your child can't work or go to school is because of the immigration status. So we are going to lock you up in this hospital. They were telling my mother that. So my mother stopped calling the police and stuff. Then when I was in Nigeria, I used to use a skin cream called Mercury. They used to import it from England, and that cream has mercury in it and some other creams they import. It's a skin lightener. So and after I was using that cream, I started noticing my eye was experiencing paralysis. My eye wouldn't move. My eye muscle was experiencing paralysis. My eye would start becoming cross. I've been having difficulty moving my eye muscles. It was very slow. So I was becoming cross-eyed, on and off, it just come and go on and off. And sometimes my eye would twitch, twitching, So my eye muscle would twitch. So I read that mercury is a toxin and can cause eye muscle paralysis and make it cross-eyed. So when I came into America, I was telling my mother to us about it. I used to use a cream in Nigeria, and I've been contacted poison like mercury from the village. And my mother were just trying to frame up as crazy. They told me to go to a psychiatrist and tell the psychiatrist. I said I need an eye doctor. They're like, no, go to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist will be just trying to frame up as crazy so they can kick me out of my mother's house so my mother doesn't have to pay for my housing. So I went to a psychiatrist on Staten Island, and I told her the same thing, that I used to use a cream in Nigeria and it has like mercury in it, and it's now causing me to have eye muscle paralysis as well as my eye twitches. I said, okay, please send me to a neurologist to examine my eye muscle. And she said, she doesn't believe, that I have eye muscle paralysis. I said it comes on and off. I said I read online that mercury poisoning can cause intermittent strabismus. That means it can make your eye cross off often, but not steadily. And she said she doesn't believe that, any skin cream can do that to somebody. So she misdiagnosed me as delusional. She's from Russia, I don't know, but she speaks English. I'm sure that's how she was able to get a medical license. So I told my mother about it. I was misdiagnosed as delusional. So she went and told she told her daughter, so her daughter said, she should just kick me out of the house. So my mother told the landlord to kick me out. I'm crazy. But the landlord kicked my mother out. So we were staying in a hotel after that. I was like, mother, the hotel is expensive, $50 a day. You can't afford it. Your ancestors does that. She was like, she doesn't want to rent another room because, people don't want two people in a room. That one day she told me to come with her to Manhattan from Staten Island. When we got to Manhattan, she was buying bus tickets to Pennsylvania. I'm like, I'm not going to with you to Pennsylvania. She was like, you have to come because we're only going there for a day. So I didn't have a place because she pays for the hotel room and she had already checked out the hotel. So on that duress, she took me to Pennsylvania. But she bought a return ticket at Manhattan. So when we got to Pennsylvania, as soon as we got to Flora's house, 636 Industry Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15210. As soon as we got into her house, she and Flora came out of the house and went into a car. Flora was driving that car. So I got into the car. I was like, my mother has my return ticket to New York. I don't want to be stuck in Pennsylvania. I don't know anybody. And my immigration was in New York. And after I told me to get out of the car. As I was trying to get out of the back seat, she sped off and knocked me down with the car. I fell on my ass. I'm sorry to be graphic. And then bluntly, and people who were around were watching what was going on. There was a lot of altercation. They bluntly called 911. And my older sister said I had a weapon and I'm about to kill everybody. And the police came and arrested. I was telling them I'm from Nigeria. There are witnesses that saw what happened. I said one of my sisters hit me with a car. My mother and them concocted to kidnap me from New York City where I have a court case and bring me here. And I said my mother was holding my bus ticket and she got into the car and sped off and the Flora hit me with the car. I said I'm being trafficked, I'm in Nigeria. But they didn't want to take me serious because I had a Nigerian accent. My mother's daughters were born in New York. They have an American accent. So the Pittsburgh PA listened to my mother's daughter Bolani. And they went and locked me up in Mercy Psychiatric Hospital, Pittsburgh, Liberty Avenue in 2001. I spent to the psychiatrist there also. They're like, we don't believe your family will lie about you. You will lie to us and say you don't have any immigration case. Your family say you don't have an immigration case. You're just fantasizing. I said we're going to medicate you. So I called my lawyer in New York, immigration lawyer Dorothy Piato, and he talked to the hospital. And the hospital was like, we're so sorry, we can't believe your family fooled us. That they were just trying to dump you in the mental ward, even though they're not crazy. And they didn't arrest my mother or our daughters. And the hospital just let me go out of the hospital. 14 years later, my mother's daughter was poisoning my mother when she went back there because the police took her home. Like a karma, she went back to those daughters in Pennsylvania to stay with them. I said they were trying to kill her so they can get the money, and they were trying to lock her up in the mental ward. So one of the daughters was feeding her cancer food poison Balani, so she'd be hospitalized with heart problems. My mother already had a heart problem, and they can then lock her up in the mental ward. And like that song, around that time, my mother was telling me a Nigerian sang the song. They're trying to hold somebody for ransom because the person is young, rich, and ransom. That song. I believe the authorities in Nigeria, some people in Nigeria contacted the police here in America. I saw the police to arrest the daughters. They went and arrested my friend Regana, framed him as crazy, and they said the police was laughing and choked him dead and gave this family 5.9 million. My mother's daughter Flora used to lie that she's 5'10", even though she's 5.9 inches tall. 5'9" inches tall. So I know a lot of the skeletons here in New York City. So the public officials would rather have me jump. So they're hiring people to jump me, gang members, and having the police to clean to clean the crime scene of any evidence. And with a fake mental health misdiagnosis, I don't stand a chance with any jury, especially if I'm dead. So so I'm working with with a crazy misdiagnosis, live wire on me. I don't want to use the bad word. I don't want to alert terror. I don't believe in violence. So like that Jordan Lily was killed in the subway system. There are some black Americans that don't like me. I'm a Nigerian. They say they're going to kill me. And I've been misdiagnosed as crazy. So please, the U.S. courts, please save me. They say, and Michael Jackson's father, before he also died, he said once they call a black person crazy, so the person stands a chance in America. Even if the person has American citizenship. I'm a Nigerian. So please, I know this is a very novel part of the law. Because if you're walking free, how can you say the person is being held hostage? But I'm de facto held hostage by mental health diagnosis. Anybody can just kidnap me and use that mental health diagnosis and claim, look, the person was talking to themselves. The person was using threat. So I had to kidnap the person and choke them dead. And the jury will believe it. So that's what a mental health misdiagnosis does. Because the misdiagnosis with the most awful mental illnesses, schizophrenic, paranoia, bipolar, anybody can just hit me from behind and then kill me, hit me with a baton. I said, the person was moving inside. I said, I was saying stuff and they were afraid and I'm walking away free. So they put a target on my back. I could be kidnapped by anybody. Under New York law, you can kidnap somebody if it's a threat, and with a mental health diagnosis, they could kidnap me. So I always watch what I say in public. I always post videos regularly. So I'm being held for ransom. Like that Nigerian musician said. So they want to hold somebody for ransom. I'm being held for ransom with a mental health diagnosis. I'm not a free person. Anybody can just arrest me under New York law. Like Jordan Neely was killed. So I could become the next Jordan Neely. People are telling me you're going to become the next Jordan Neely. Even there's a WABC radio, they have FBI watching them because one of their workers was almost shot dead by the telemafia for speaking bad about the telemafia. And the FBI also put me on surveillance. So every time I'm listening to the WABC radio, I think the FBI tells them I'm listening, and they start making statements like, you watch, there's going to be a Jordan Neely in New York. I can just feel it. There's a black American, he always says that, Dominic Carter. It always seems to reference me as soon as I'm listening to the radio show. I think the FBI will tell them, the FBI got WABC radio because in the early 90s I heard they had a worker called Curtis Lewer. He stopped working there last year, but he may come back there. They say he had a worker there who used to talk about the telemafia a lot, and he said the telemafia shoot him on the way to work, and they were afraid that the telemafia may come shoot him dead at work. He survived that attack. So they have a live a bull eye on my back with a mental diagnosis, especially the New York state law that says you can kidnap somebody that is a threat or is in danger of harming themselves or harming somebody else. Even when I post on Facebook, Facebook will ban me. So somebody said I'm cleaning, I want to hurt myself. I never changed that. So there's some Black American sect that told me they're going to be killing Africans so that having the police wrongfully kill Africans also so as to win civil rights for Black Americans. I say we Africans deserve it, because we saw the ancestor slavery. Anytime I'm getting attacked, some Black Americans will be shouting, exactly. They'll be mocking me, and some they have sympathizers like Spanish, white also, they'll be saying exactly. My mother's daughter Flora used to say that also. So this is what I'm going through. So please, so even though this seems to be a novel area of the law, that how can somebody that seems free be a hostage? Yeah, there's de facto status. The police took my green card from me, wouldn't return it. NYPD is not supposed to hold your green card. That's a kidnap. That's a slavery. I can't work legally under United States law. In order to work legally, you have to have your green card presented to the employer. Otherwise, the employer will be arrested if they don't see proof of your legal status. So I don't have my green card anymore, and that makes it forced labor. So without my green card, I always have to beg for food from people. I used to work as a home attendant, make like $20,000 a year, but without my green card, I can't work legally. So that's enslavement, forced labor. I have to beg for money, begging for food. I want to be able to buy my own food. I don't want to be begging for money, and they're putting graffiti mines, and they're playing all kinds of psychological games with me, and they know they could easily kill me in the bathroom. They're police and the civilian thugs, and claim this person's schizophrenic, and even though the FBI surveillance on me, the FOIA request will show everything, I say, and if I didn't threaten anyone to show, but the government can decide once I'm killed not to honor any subpoena, to bring my surveillance to court, say because of national security, issues, and if my family members say they don't really care about it, they kill, they believe I'm crazy, outsiders wouldn't be able to fight for me, because I criticize the U.S. president a lot, he called Nigeria a shit country, he's aware that the NYPD and immigration owes me money, so even President Trump always, said he's going to deport immigrants, it's creating an intimidation environment, and no lawyer wants to help me. And people are telling me before they can help me, I have to marry them, adopt their kid, so they'll get to inherit money once I die. I'm not looking to die or be killed. So please, I didn't sign any surrogacy agreement with anyone. I didn't sign any marriage agreement with anyone. Even though America has very loose laws called parentage by estoppel, that if somebody goes to court and says, before you died, you were trying to adopt the child, even though you may not formally adopt the child, the court always bend over backwards under parentage by estoppel to look for the interest of the child and if you want a lot of money so that child wouldn't suffer. And they can just award, formalize a supposed informal adoption and formalize it and allow someone else's child to inherit your estate. So these are loopholes in the law. It's called parentage by estoppel. So because I have a target on my back by would-be assassins to kill me and try to win money by lying that I was trying to adopt a child and I have to formalize it. So this is very serious. I have more evidence. I can bring to court. I bring to court for abuse corpses. All you legal community, please help me. I know there's a lot of xenophobia in America, and people don't want immigrants to win anything. All you lawyers have been denying me help in the past. I post to you lawyers on Instagram, and you don't respond back, and you all claim you're into civil rights. That's strange. But I can't help but feel because I'm in Nigeria, that's why I don't want to get justice. But I would like to implore you, please please handle me with mercy. I know you haven't been for America and justice, but please do what is lawful and stop avoiding me. For 25 years now, it's hard for me to get legal help in America. I was arrested wrongly by immigration. At some point, I had to go to dealing with immigration court as a teenager by myself because I couldn't find a lawyer. So denying access to justice is a violation. Denying access to court is a violation of the Constitution, and it can be interpreted as obstruction of justice by you lawyers. That I speak English, I write in English, I post you on Instagram, send it to your Facebook, and none of you respond back to me, including you, Lisa James. You're a Black American. Attorney General of New York State, Alvin Bragg, you're the prosecutor of New York City, Manhattan, District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, you're a Black American, Brooklyn District Attorney, Gonzalez. I sent you messages on Instagram and on Facebook, email. You're Spanish, but you can sympathetic to Black American colleagues. New York City Public Advocate, Jemani Williams. You're supposed to help with police brutality issues. You don't respond back to me. You're always doing the peace sign. Each time I tell you, I'm always getting attacked in the bathroom. And I don't know if that's your way, and you don't respond back to me because I always issue is the extreme. I'm not trying to marry you or have a child by you, or not to child by you. You know, and you don't respond to me, and you should also post a video doing the peace sign. And I'm always getting jumped in the bathroom. So that's not right to try to hold me for ransom. And you know, I'm in need of civil rights protection. And I know it's easy for you guys to wait till I die. I feel like you're so sorry. You never got any of my messages. You may believe you, but I know you're getting my messages. I can tell, especially you, Jemani Williams. Anytime I post a message to you and I usually discriminate, I'm not looking to marry you or have a child by you. You post a video saying peace. You know, to the general public, and I'll get jumped in the bathroom. So please do what is right, and send an email to your office, and your office doesn't respond back to me. And nobody should hold anybody for a ransom. Just like in that Nigerian song I played earlier. So they're trying to hold somebody for a ransom because the person is young, rich, and handsome. I was born a boy, I'm not a girl. By scales. And at the same time, my mother was telling me about that plan that she addressed about with a killer gang in Nigeria and America, and trying to set me up, lock me up, and take over my state. In Nigeria, this was 2014, and then Uganda got killed right away. So the police used Uganda as an experiment to see if that plan would work. And just kill somebody under the guise of friendly maintenance of the person. So this is an international terrorism case. And the courts all over the world have to help get justice by doing what is right in each of their individual jurisdiction. If I'm taking hostage somewhere else, the courts in America would no longer have power over me. So even in the immigration cases, when Trump quickly deports people to El Salvador, the courts in America said we can't bring that person back. The person should have reached out to us while the person was here. This is why I'm reaching to you guys. Once they kidnap me and take me out of America and hostage taking, no abuse corpses will work from American court. So there's enough evidence. So, and I'm in de facto, being declared hostage. I can't walk to the hospital freely. Sometimes I slip and fall, my teeth breaks. I can't walk to the hospital freely, I won't be able to come back out. Because once they say a mental diagnosis on you, Bloomberg puts in a court order. Bloomberg issued an order that when they see a homeless in the hospital and they have a mental illness history, they shouldn't release them to the street. So this song, it's talking about they want to hold somebody hostage. And a lot of British people, even as a Nigerian guy, his name is Yemi Asalu, is based in Canada. Again, I used to talk to him online. And he always promised to help me. He's a lawyer, he said he's going to help me with my case. And I used to tell him about all my cases when my mother was about to be, me and my mother was a victim, said he was going to help us as a lawyer, and he wouldn't help me. All of a sudden, I'm trying to see him in New York. And he wouldn't respond to all my messages online. I don't know if he's trying to kidnap me also and claim I have a secret relationship with him. I don't have a secret relationship. So here's the song, they want to hold somebody for ransom. They said that, as soon as you release that song, they killed Eric Garner in Nigeria. The same thing was saying. So they want to hold somebody for ransom. That guy Eric Garner was helping me at the time. I believe his killing was just a test killing to see if it's going to work. And they killed him around my birthday. I was born on July 8th. They killed him July 17th. I used to go to a Black American church, Bishop Jordan Ministry, and that pastor used to say, July 8th, the number 8 and number 17 is the same thing to God. God believes in single digit, and a double digit like that, 1 plus 7, God will equal to 8. And says, God always uses the 8th of every month, the 8th day to do spiritual things. So that song is it's a remix of another Nigerian song I used to listen to here in America, called Shake Body by Tribesmen. So apparently that musician found the song I like, I guess the FBI surveillance. So that song was released in 1999. Shake Body or whatever it was released. I think the song was released in 1999, but we heard them say 99, but it just posted online. There's so much noise, this is what I'm reduced to. No peace of mind, nothing. I can't even record nothing. As one train leaves, another train arrives, and whatnot. So please, the question should bear with me. You know, so please, this is very serious. So of course, bear with me. I know, I'm working under inhospitable condition. I'm freezing right now. It's so cold in New York, and I said they're going to use that as a guise to be locking up people. Even a Black American radio host was saying some of you are about to. Charlemagne, his last message every day always gives advice. Says some of you are about to get into something. It's going to be inevitable. Just try to make the best positions. Just try to make just try to make the best use out of any situation you find yourself in. I have Black Americans threatening me that unless I marry them, I'm gonna die on the street. I don't want somebody threatening me like that because I wouldn't feel safe with you. I'm not looking to marry anybody. Even there's a Black American artist, a Spanish artist, Cardi B, and she's saying all she wants is a man that will keep her safe. And she came on the subway. After she released the song, I always stay on the subway. It's like she's threatening me also. Her name is, she's a Black American rapper. She was invited to perform in Nigeria while I was going through this crisis. And sometimes I think some of her songs are about me. Cause she came out singing a song called "I Like It Like That." I used to watch that song on YouTube. That was how she became famous. I'm like, okay. Why, they released that song. I believe this is the song Say. Say all she wants is a man that can keep her safe. Say.
Your case has a story, and we
yes, the ad is playing.
Every detail matters. Every document. Every.
She has a protruding chest, and my chest is protruding also. She was like, she doesn't need it. So the word Nigeria was formed from the word nigger, the British, And I have a protruding chest also. I hide my phones in my chest. And, she has an imagery with a chest protruding also. And she was like, she doesn't, and all kinds of people have been harassing me, showing me their sexual organ on the train. Usually they use poor people also to try to lure me, to take me home, I guess kidnap me. You know, and there's another black American making fun of me with the song I put out on my mama. Wish you could touch my bag. I think that song was referencing the way my mother's divorce killed her to inherit all the property my mother had and leave life insurance policy for her. And I've been trying to hold them accountable and nobody will. So there's another black American artist, or my mama. She's right in the LA. Nigeria has a city called Lagos. They also call it LA also.
I just wanna live in a fantasy. I think we deserve